Okay, Amit, can you hear me?
Yes, Piyush, I can hear you.
Okay, other guys, can you hear me?
Yes, Piyush. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I think Channa, you have to check the audio connection from your side. Other people can hear me. Okay, so let's start the topic that someone has asked in the group regarding the joining. So I will share my screen and I will open the Tableau. So joining means when we have to pull the data from multiple tables. For example, like when we work in the industry, data is available into different tables. It's not the data is always coming from the single table. For example, you have two tables. One table contains the data of country and their profit. And we have second table that contains the data of profit and sales. Now in Tableau view, we have to show profit and sales of that country into the single view. So to represent or to show that data into the single view, we have to pull the data from multiple tables. So in our scenario, we have data in two different tables. So first we have to combine that data or that table, and then we can start creating the reports. So to understand the joining in Tableau, we have to understand the join, how this join works in the database. So I will share the SSMS that is like connected to SQL Server. And here I will show you how join works in backend or the database. So I have two tables, join one and join two. I will show you the data. So I will execute this query and we can see we just have only one column called ID. And in that column, we have data, something called 1, 2, 3, 5. And in table 2, the name is join 2. When I execute this query, we can see the data is something like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 4. So if we just write the data here, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 4. And for join 1, we have something called 1, 2, 3, and 5. So this is the data available into two different tables. Now, when we do the join is something getting the data from multiple tables. So if we see the syntax, so if we just write select star from table 1, and so we have 4 type of joins in Tableau, like inner join, left join, right join, and full outer join. So let's see first how it works in SQL. So syntax is we have to write the inner join and the second table. So in our case, the second table is join 2. Now we have to mention the condition on which this join will work. So we have, if you see, we have similar column like ID. So we will join on the ID. So join one ID dot ID is equal to join two dot ID. Now when we execute this query, if you see from this query, we are loading the data from two different tables, join 1 and join 2. So I will execute this query. Now we can see the data is coming something like 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3. So let's open one Excel. It's easy to understand. So table 1 contains data like 1, 2, 3, 5. And in table 2, we have data like 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 4. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 4. So when we do the inner join, like the first we have to understand the syntax. It's pretty simple. We just have to mention the table 1, inner join table 2, and we have to map based on the common field. Inner join will fetch the common data between two tables. So how it will execute? We can pull the first value one value from first table, we will map this value in each row to the second table. So when this one will check into the second table, so one is matching, it will return 1, 1. Then again, this one again, it will check in other rows. So again, here it is matching in the second row. So it will return again 1 and 1. Now, when this one is go to other rows, so it is not matching here, it won't return. Now we will pick the second value. So the second value is 2. Again, this 2 will be searched in all the data in second table. And wherever it is matching, it will return that record. So this, it is not matching, not matching. And in these two records, it is matching. So it will return 2, 2, again 2, 2, and it's not matching in other two records. Again, in the same way, it will get the third row, that is third value is 3. It will check the 3 in all the data. So it is matching only 1 times. It will return 3 and 3. Now it will pick the fourth value, that is 5. And it will check in the table 2, but it is not there. So it won't return this data. So this is how the inner join will execute. So this is the output of inner join. To validate, we can just see the data here. After executing this query, we are getting the same output: 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3. So this is how the join will work. It will pick the first value from first table and it will check that value in the second table. If it is matching, it will return that record. Otherwise, it won't return. So this is the output of inner join. Let's see left join. Left join means the complete data will come from the first table or the left table. So if we write the query for left table, the syntax is same. Only instead of writing inner, we have to write the left. Now let's see. It will return the complete data from left table and the matching data from the right table. So the execution again, it would be in the same way. It will pick the first value from first table. So it is 1. And it will check here in the second table. So it is matching. It will return 1 and 1. Again 1, 1. In the second row, also it is matching in second table. For 2 also, it is matching 2 times. So it will return 2, 2. Again 2, 2. And third value, it is matching 1 time. So it will return 3, 3. And this 5 is not available in the second table. But in the definition of left join tells the complete data from left table. So it will return the 5. As it is not available in the second table, it will return null here. Let's see the output in database. If we just execute this query, we can see 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, and null. Its null is coming because we have to pull the complete data from left table and matching data from right. If this is not available in the second table, it will return the null. So this is the output of null. This is how the left join will work in the database. Let's see the right join. In the right join, it will pick the element from right table, or we can call the second table. If it is matching, it will return, and it will return the complete data from right table. That means from table 2, all the data point will come. So if we see the execution order, so 1, 1 again it is matching 2 times, and 2, 2 also 2 times, 3 also 1 time. If you see, we have pulled all the data till this from the right table, but 4 is not available in the first table. So for this, it would be null, and here we will see the 4. Let's validate from the query. So here, instead of left, I'll just copy this. Instead of left, we have to write the right join. Let's execute this query. And we can see the complete data from right table. So right table right now it is joined 2, and the matching data from the left table. So 4 is coming because it is available in the second table, but it is not available in the first table. So if it is not available, it will return the null. This is how the right join will work. Let's see the full outer join. So full outer join, it's something called left plus right. So it will return the complete data. So if we just see the data of left join and right join here, and from that we can execute full outer join. And again, if we see it is executed in the same way, so it will return 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3 also matching. Now the remaining is 5 and 4. So 5 is available in the left table, so it will return 5. And it is not available in the second table, so it will return null. In the same way, 4 is available in the second table, so it will return the 4. And here it will return the null. So full outer join, something like left plus right. Let's see how it will execute here. Okay, so we can validate the data from this Excel. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3. It is common. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3. We are getting 5 from the left table. So 5 null is coming. In the same way, we are getting null and 4 from the right table. So this is how the join will work in the backend or in the SQL. Any question on this?
Yeah, Piyush,
Yes.
is this the full outer join similar to union?
Union is different. Amit. If you see in join, what we are doing, we are just adding the columns. Okay. Whereas in the union, we can append the data. All right.
Okay.
So you join means we are just combining two tables. Whereas in the union, we will append the data. So I will show you the syntax. If you just write like select star from join 1, union, select star from join 2. If you see from the join, we are getting two different rows like ID and ID. This ID is coming from join 1. This ID is coming from join 2. Now, when you execute the union, I will execute this. You can see we are just getting one column of ID.
Okay.
And it is just appending the data into that ID. If you just mention the union all, it will give the duplicate record as well. So I will explain that later, the union and union all. So let's focus on the join first.
Okay.
So guys, any question on this? Because once we are good, once we understand how join works in database, we can easily understand how join will work into the Tableau. If this concept is clear here, we can easily understand how it will work into the Tableau. So if you have any question, please ask. Okay, right. Let's proceed. So I will open the Tableau desktop here and I will connect to Microsoft SQL Server. So I will log in. Now we know the data is available into the multiple tables, not into the single table. Okay, so Tableau has this capability to join it at Tableau end. So what we can do, if I just pull the join one table here, okay, now I'll go to this. If you can see in join one update, we can see 1, 2, 3, 5. The same data we just see in the Excel also 1, 2, 3, 5. Now I wanted to join this with I wanted to join this table with the table join 2. So I will just drag it here in the same window. Now by default, it has already joined the inner join. And if you see the data that has come from inner join, you can see. So it is like 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3. The same data we have just understand by using the query. So the condition, we should have one common column on which we will apply this, we will do the joining. So we already have one column called ID in join one table and join two table. And if we just do the inner join, the output would be like this. Whatever output is coming from the query, same output Tableau will generate. So if you just change from inner to left join and just update now, you can see from left join, we are getting 5 and null. So some same data is coming here. So in Tableau, we have inner join, left join, right join, and full outer join. So whatever join type you will select, it will return the same data that we will get from the SQL. Now, if we have data, something called samples, if I just connect to sample superstore, we are having the data at country level, and some data is available into different Excel. In the same way, we can do the joining. So we have to understand the concept here, how it will work. So we have just seen, I have just connected or pulled two tables, and we have just understand if we apply the left join or inner join, what data will Tableau will generate. So if we just convert to right join, and if you just update it, so here we are getting the null and 4, same data we are just getting from the query. If you just select full outer join, then if you update, you can see 5 and null and null and 4. So this is how the data will become after applying the join. So we have to understand which join type we have to apply here, because when you change the join type, definitely the data will change. So once you create or apply the appropriate or right join, then we can go to the sheet. So by default, I have selected here the left join. I will create an extract. Now we can see from table join 1, we are getting this ID, and from join 2, we are getting this ID code. Now it will remain as it is. We can see the number of dimension or measures. It would be as it is, whether it is connecting to single table or multiple tables. Only thing we have to understand which type of join we have to apply or on which column we have to apply the join, because the join type will change the data. And then once we at sheet level, it will look as it is if you are connecting with join or you're connecting from single table. So if I just add another data source called sample superstore. So you can see here also we are getting the dimension and measures. In the same way, from join also you can see the same layout. Does anyone have any question?
No wish.
Okay. So is it clear to everyone how join will work in Tableau? How we can do the joining in Tableau? Now, second concept, we have something called cross database join. So here we have just understand the same two table, join 1 and join 2 is available into the same database. That is something called SQL Server. So we have just easily just added that. And from this connection, we are just pull the two table. Now let's understand the different scenario here. Now some data is available into different database or data source. So this two table is coming from SQL Server. Now the correspond data is available, let's say in Excel. That is data is not available into the SQL Server, but is available into the Oracle or Excel, we can say, or any database. But we have to use that data, or in the same view, we have to show that data. So for that, what we can do, we can apply the cross database join. Even the name itself is telling cross database. That means we have to pull the data from multiple database. So let's see how we can implement that. So if you see in the connection, we are seeing this option called add. So when I click on the add, we can add another data source. So for now, I will select Microsoft Excel and I will select one Excel file. So I have connected to book one. Now you can see there is two connection here. One is connected to Microsoft SQL Server. Second is connected to Excel. So if you see this sheet, I will just remove it for now. So this join one and join two is connected to SQL Server. If you see this blue line, and here you can see this same blue line. Now from Microsoft Excel, if I just pull the sheet one, so if you see just added this connection, it is already connected to join one ID and sheet one ID. So in sheet one also, we just have only one column called ID. And by default, it is connected to left join, inner join. We can change that join type as well. Let's say if I just select the left, and you can see this orange color, that means it is connecting, this sheet or data is coming from the Microsoft Excel. Now we are pulling this data from multiple sources, right? If you just update, you can see based on the join type, we can pull the data. Now when I go to sheet one, so in this data source, data is coming from Microsoft SQL Server as well as from the Excel. So we are not pulling the data from single source. We are loading the data from multiple sources. So when we load the data from multiple sources, we have to implement or we have to apply the features called cross database joining. Joining is same, only thing the data or the table is coming from multiple data sources. Thus, execution of join will remain as it is. If you wanted to understand what data it will return, for that we have to understand the how join will work. So we have just seen this query. In the same way, we will see when we are this join we are applying on multiple tables, the execution order will remain as it is. It will pick one value from first table. It will match in the second table. So the joining concept will remain as it is. Only difference is data is coming from the different data source. And this concept will remain as it is, how the data will come into the tab. Any questions, guys, here? So this is very frequently asked question in interview as well. The difference between join and cross database join. And when we have to use the data joining or when we have to use the cross database join.
Is there any concept like level of hierarchy joining?
Can you come again?
While joining, is there any level of, for example, one table contain the data like the state level.
Okay.
Other table may contains the district level.
Yeah. So only thing there should be one column common in between two tables, right? On that column, you can apply the join. So, and we are just understand the join will work row wise. It will pick the first element, one element from first table, and it will check into the second table. And whenever it is matching, it will return the complete row in the output. So if you have state in one table and district in second table, so I mean, you cannot map state with district. So we should have the common column in both tables. Okay, someone has asked about the difference between data blending and cross database join. So I hope this is clear how the cross database join will work. In the cross database join, when we come to this sheet one, in the data source, we can see all the dimensions into the same window. Whereas in the data blending, when we implement the data blending, we connect with two different data source. So we have a separate dimension and measure for each data source. So if I just pull the Excel again, So here we can see we have three data source, join one, sample superstore, and sheet one. Now this join one, behind this, we have implemented the joining plus cross database join. To implement a data blending, we should have the separate data source. So let's consider this is one data source, this is second data source. Now we have, if you see the dimension and measure for each data source, we can see. So for join, these are the different dimensions, and for sheet, this is the different dimensions. So first thing, in data blending, we have the separate dimension and measure for each data source. Second thing, the data blending, it is not working at row wise, but it will work as left join. So if I just pull the ID from sheet one, right? Before that, we have to make a relationship. Like if I just go to join one, so it is already created as a relationship. If it is not created, so you can just go to data, edit blended relationship, and here you can select the ID. So it is already created a relationship between sheet one and join. Now you can pull the data from sheet or data source two. Okay, this is something called join. That means we have different data source. One would be considered as a primary data source. So this sheet one is primary for in this view, and you can see this blue tick. This represent the primary data source, and this orange tick represent the secondary data source. So from sheet one, we are getting 1 to 3. So it will act like a left join. That means complete data from sheet one and the matching data from join. So it acts like a left join. But from this secondary database, we can pull the aggregated data one. So we will see that in detail data blending.
Piyush,
Yeah.
Piyush, we can change this data source primary to secondary, secondary to primary, right?
Yes, yes. But again, you have to start from scratch. Right now, you have just selected sheet one as a primary and join one as a secondary. Now you wanted to switch, then you have to create a new sheet. You can pick
Yes,
the first
yes,
element
got
from
it.
join one. Now you can select second and you can pull it.
So whatever
in-
the column or dimensions we are using the first, then that is going to primary data source, right?
Correct, correct.
Got it. Is there any option? Can you click on this sheet one right click? Is there any options? No, in the data source, in the data pin.
In the data
The
pin
sheet
where
one. Can you click on right? Is there any chance to change here? While again need to without
your
connection need
voice
to
is,
create other sheet.
no, you wanted to change it here from primary to
Uh,
secondary.
mm,
Okay, so I mean, there would be some workaround. What you can do, you can again join, add this, right? But it is suggestible to start from scratch. If you add this data source again in this window, you can replace this data source. You can replace data source and you will map to the new data source.
okay, got it.
But
Okay.
it won't work here. So basically we have to start from scratch if you wanted to change from primary to secondary or secondary to primary. So before using data blending, we have to be very sure which table we have to consider as a primary data source. So I think we are already running out of time. So I think if you have any question, you can ask here.
Page, I have small doubt. It is if
Yeah.
you are